How much is social media part of your business plan?
Massive.
And how are you leveraging it? By being yourself.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's myself. Step into my insecurities. I don't like doing, not a big selfie guy and not a big video guy. I'm not a big fan of like, you're like, hey, you look normal. I'm like, I don't know. Like, like I have my own insecurities. It is what it is, right? But when I'm honest about who I am and I don't show real estate, like people don't want to use me because I sell real estate. They use me because they connect with me and then they know I sell real estate.
Yep.
And I see agents who just want to be like closing day and all this other crap. And like when I was new, I was doing that stuff. And I had a closing and I was writing with my wife, like, oh crap, I got to post about my closing. And my wife was like, you know what I don't do? I don't post a picture of my paycheck every 2 weeks. And I was like, oh shit. That's how it's received. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's like, how does the consumer receive it? So it changed everything about how I viewed social media.
Your wife's pretty smart.
Other than her decision making, I'm like sticking with me, right? Everybody says that, and I'm like I was a shit show, guys. You know what I mean? But no, she's an amazing human. So that really resonated with me, and then I started it gave me pause, and I started thinking. I was like, you know what? I don't see like Biff doing, or like Carrie Schuster, or these people that was when I was new, Diane Brooks and Carrie Hawley and Mike Deck, like everybody wants to be them. And I don't see them posting closing date pics. You know why? Because they just close all the time.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so this is not about my intent. It's about like, how are things being received? And I think it matters, I think luxury is a very dangerous thing in our current economic environment, right? There's a lot of people struggling out here. And to be touting luxury like that, we live in Indianapolis in the Midwest, be cognizant.
So true.
And people just don't think about that stuff. And it's based in your own insecurities. And I want to be successful. I want to be seen as successful. I think our industry struggles with validation because you do feel alone and there is competition. Well, I don't validate through my job, so I don't need that stuff to be validated.
I think all the time about something an agent said to me one time about why they don't look at a lot of other agent stuff. And she said, because comparison is the thief of joy. And
yeah,
there's a lot of agents that they just can't get past the comparisons.
And that inherently contributes to a failure rate.
Right.
What world do I exist in where you can't succeed and I succeed?
100%.
When I was new and I wasn't doing as well, I tell the story, I took a different ride home from work. And when you take your usual route, you just don't notice anything because it's muscle memory. And I drove a different way and I was like, there are houses everywhere. The problem isn't that people were buying or selling. It's they don't know who I am. And I just need more people to know who I am. And I'm allowed to do well and other people do well too. If I've lost a couple, maybe 4 listings in my career, which is a low amount.
That's pretty low considering how long you've been in real estate now.
7 years.
Yeah, only.
About 100 a year, right? So now it's not all listings, right? But
sure.
I will never go back and look at that house. I will not look at what it gets priced for. I will not look at whether it sells or doesn't sell. I will not look at the agent because there is literally no good that comes from that. I'm either going to feel better than or less than.
Right.
And I got to go to the next thing, But to the social media thing, I don't know. People want to live vicariously through our job. Everybody's very curious about it.
Yeah.
And so I tell people don't care about your closing day. They want to know about your Tuesday. What are you doing? And I'm open about struggling, I'm open about mental health, or I'm open about I'm just an idiot, or and I celebrate my wins. I'm just me, and I don't put anything out there but me being genuine. And it's just not that big of a deal. It's just not.
But that authenticity is a big deal.
It is.
It separates you.
Yeah, but it's just me being nice. I don't feel like a thing.
Yeah, no, but most people are, as you said, they're too afraid.
They are too afraid, and that makes me really sad. It really does.
Well, I bet you anything that you might change a few people's minds here today when they watch this.
Dude, I talk to a lot of I talk to agents from other brokerages. Like they reach out, and I mean, I'm just trying to help people, man. Like it doesn't even matter about real estate. Like this stuff will hold you back in general.
Yes.
With connecting with people, right? Like it's the whole purpose of life is connecting with people. And I don't know, like I just think social media, and it doesn't help in the election cycle, right? Like I remember thinking I have to quit being a consumer of social media. It is a tool for me to use for my business. I choose to use it by showing my full self, but I do not consume social media.
And is that still the case?
I have ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all have it though.
I remember it being like, I was sitting in there and they're teaching you all this stuff. And like, I was still like, I was newly sober. Like when I got into the business, like I took my licensing when I had like 5 months sober. I got licensed when I had 6 months sober. Right. And like, I was still doing a lot of work on myself. And I had all these insecurities. And I was like, well, Jim Litton's a business owner. Like, what would he do? And so I had this like whole, like, what would Jim Litton do thing?
Okay.
And I was like,
does Jim know this, by the way?
I think so. Like I've talked about it a bunch. I've never like told him directly, but, and I was like, this is what Jim would do. He would just post because he's a business owner. And so it allowed me to not take ownership of something I was doing, and remove my own emotions and stuff.
Okay.
And then like, it's just worked ever since, you know, and I'm like, this is what we do, this is how we do it. But it is difficult to not get trapped up in consuming it.
Yeah.
But I can tell when I am because I can tell my attitude changes. And that's like, you gotta be able to pivot.
Yeah.
Like I should not feel unhappy for your win. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. That like you're having a good day and I'm like, would I want one too? Well, like I just had one. Like, what are we talking about? You know?
There's enough business for a lot of people to be happy.
Oh my gosh. Like, there's plenty.
Exactly.
There's absolutely plenty.